Okay, welcome back everyone. In this video, we're going to work on programmatically managing the zoom of VSCode. The reason I do this is I tend to work in a much lower zoom level than I record in, just to make the visuals of the IDE look better while presenting to mobile users, things like that. So the way you would manually do this is going to your settings, and you can go all the way down here and zoom level. So the zoom level I like to use is a 5 while recording, but the one I use while actually editing is a 2. So let's set that back to 5, and I want to show you how I'm going to manage this programmatically. First thing I want to do is get this path of my settings.json file. Because our settings are purely JSON, all we have to do is change this specific value between a 5 and a 2. And if we change that, all's good. So I'm going to just keep this to the side, keep this open, and I'm going to create a new page. Let's call this one toggle VSCode zoom.ts. And I'm going to put this here just to hold on to it. And now that we're here, I'm going to do an npm init --yes to give us a package.json file. I'm going to delete all of these dependencies and just run and what I want actually is to npm install let's get tsx to manage our TypeScript files as well as the types for Node. Great. And now one last thing, dev tsx, and then it's going to be toggle VSCode zoom.ts. I want this to be of type module. Cool. Just to make sure everything's good, let's just do that and npm run dev. We should see hello world. Okay, now that we have hello world, we're going to begin implementing this by importing fs as well as path from Node's default modules, utility modules. And then we're going to do dir name file, and we're going to get this by using path.resolve. And this, so to show you what this is, if we do a save, let's do npm run dev, and you can see here that it's getting the directory name that we're working within. And now that we have this, we can do a const file path, and this is path.join. And here in the docs, you can see join takes an array of strings, and it joins all arguments together and normalizes the resulting path. So this is important because as you can see here, there's a space. And so anyways, so now that we have this, we're going to go from dir name, where we're at, and we're going to want to actually exit this doing ... and then we do library, application support, and then what else do we need? Code, user, and now settings.json. And so this might be specific to you, depending on where you have this JSON file. Again, the way I found that is you just right-click settings JSON, copy relative path. But now we should have our file path. So let's do a console.log of file path, and I'll delete their name. And let's run this. Let's just create a new npm run dev. Cool. And so that's should match with this. I'm going to create a few more consts. So first is going to be our file encoding, which is UTF-8. I'm creating small zoom of 2 and large zoom of 5. So this is the zoom that I work at personally, and then this is the zoom that I like to record videos at. And then let's just wrap this in a try catch. Catch. Error. So first try, let's say const text is equal to read file sync. So this is synchronously getting what we want from our file. And then I actually want to parse this into JSON to make it easier to manage. JSON.parse, and we'll put in our text from here. So now if we do a console.log of objects, we should see some stuff. But first, let me just do a console.error here. And error occurred. Error. So now if I run this, we should see, boom, look at that. We got our entire JSON. And so the goal here is to swap these two. If zoom is small, I want zoom to be big. If zoom is big, I want zoom to be small. And we can do this saying, so the key of this is here, and I want to set it based on this value. So we'll do this, and we'll just say if it's large, return small. Otherwise, return large. Okay, so now that we're setting our zoom level, there's one last step, and that is to actually rewrite to this JSON file. So we're going to do fs.writeFileSync, and we're going to give it the same file path, and then we're going to stringify our object. And then let's give it the encoding. Now, when we run this, it should, see it zoomed out, and now it zooms in. Pretty neat, right? And that's all for today. Hope you learned something.